Hey guys, it's Finn and I wanted to do a video on was Destiny a flop? You see, I recently watched a video from my longtime friend here on YouTube called Tepe, and he made a review video about the most anticipated and hyped game in recent history, and I'm talking of course about Destiny. And that kinda inspired me to do a little review video of my own, and in this video I will provide just that. I can give you the link to his video if you want. However, it's in Finnish, so only my Finnish viewers are able to get anything out of that video, unfortunately. But in a nutshell, Tepe was mainly unhappy with how the game turned out to be, although he did state that the game was published unfinished, so to speak, so perhaps future patches and DLCs and such will make it more enjoyable for him too, I don't know, but the way Destiny is right now, he is just mainly unhappy with the game. And I've heard that before, it's not just him, even our gaming community leader, you guys know I'm part of the gaming community called the Vice Gamers, and our leader Big Notch once went as far as to call Destiny a one big grind fest. I don't know if he actually meant that though, but people do have mixed feelings about this game. And now that I've had the chance to play this game for several hours, both the story mode and multiplayer, I feel like I'm ready to make a pretty solid review out of this game. At least a pretty solid review in my standards. I'm gonna go through pros and cons of story mode and multiplayer each in this video, and I will also say a few words about the game system overall. Now before we go any deeper, let's say a few words about the graphics, theme and the general feeling of the game. So, in Destiny, I absolutely love the graphics. I guess Destiny's realistic looking movie graphics just appeal to me so much. It's like it's so easy for my eyes to watch. Even after hours of gaming, I'm still able to play some more, and my head doesn't hurt, my eyes don't hurt. So that's really the reason why I'm a fan of realistic graphics. Also, I like the futuristic Halo theme this game has. It's nice to have a game like this for us PlayStation users as well, since Halo is of course only Xbox exclusive, so I guess Destiny is somewhat of a substitute for Halo, but I guess it isn't exactly the same thing, I admit that. I also think that they nailed the music in this game. In my opinion, the soundtracks go well with this game and they really further the futuristic experience the game wants to provide to players. And few words about the game mechanics as well. The game mechanics, they work smoothly, and I must say they really did a great job with the controls in this game. You'll learn them really fast, and very soon you're able to make the most out of your character and gaming experience. And I gotta give them plus for adding the personal Sparrow vehicles in this game. They work really well in my opinion, and they're simple to use as well. And I personally love my Sparrow so much that I sometimes even drive them indoors for the heck of it, so I certainly approve that. So this game has a pretty solid ground to build on and a lot of potential to become a good game, but let's get into details next to see if it really was able to use that potential. So let's talk about the story mode first. Now the story missions take place in seemingly large areas that just scream to be explored. Exploring the map is indeed 50% of the fun, at least to me. Now there are multiple caves and buildings in each map that I just can't pass by without searching through every corner in it. There are indeed occasional loot crates to be found, usually consisting pretty basic items, but every now and then you just might find something to actually brag about. There are also special loots to be found, like golden chests and dead ghosts that are actually collectibles, not really loots. Well, golden chests are loots and dead ghosts are these collectibles that are added just for the fun of exploring. And once you find one of these, you just can't stop looking for more of them in the game, giving you more reasons to explore. One thing that bothers me with exploring in this game, however, is that all these caves, little buildings and rooms that may or may not consist of loot crates, they look exactly alike. They look exactly the same. It kind of eats away from the mood of exploring. You really get that copy-paste feeling since they don't provide actual new areas to be seen, just the same old. And it kind of makes you feel that the developers got lazy there, so that's definitely a minus. Not that it's that serious, but it does keep bothering me over and over again. Another minus would be, remember when I said seemingly large areas? Well, that's exactly what I meant. The maps look a lot bigger than they actually are. Every time I want to explore just a little bit further, the game starts screaming at me to go back or I will kill you. And it kind of makes me feel caged in the story mode, so that's definitely a minus. The missions themselves, well, the story of the game is interesting, I must say. It does make me feel important that I am the last hope of humanity. Maybe it's kind of a cliche, but it still works, especially for a game like this. It works really well. Also, I love the fact that Tyrion Lannister is there to keep me company wherever I go. I mean, Tyrion Lannister's voice, Peter Dinklage's voice, is just, it fits Ghost perfectly. Now let's talk about the story again. When you pick up the game and start playing the story missions for the first time, you're really pumped up to go and destroy all your enemies and go after mission objectives to secure the hope of humanity and progress with the story. But after the first few missions, I hate to say it, it does get very repetitive. There's no other word for it. You see, every mission goes like this. First, you basically get a location to go to, and once you're there, you will get another location to go to. And once you're there, you most likely have to deploy your ghost to do some repairing stuff or go through some super secret space information while you do nothing. And while the ghost is doing his thing, the game sends you swarms of enemies in multiple waves to slaughter, and after you're done with them, you're done. That's the mission. You might also get a nice little cutscene if the game is kind enough, but after that you're done with the mission. There you have it. I just described every single story mission in Destiny. It's that repetitive. I'm serious. You go to this location, you go to that location, deploy your ghost, slaughter swarms of enemies, and you're done. It's no wonder that a lot of people, including me, find it difficult to actually finish the story mode of the game. I almost do it only for the principle anymore, or at least to get to other planets and other areas. However, my interest in the actual story mode as a gaming experience is decreasing fast. So, in conclusion, for the story mode, I'd give 5 out of 10. Plus for big areas that make you want to explore. Not large areas, but you know, fair enough, they're big enough. And plus for collectibles to be found as well, they really makes you want to explore every corner. However, I'd give minus for the missions, of course, because they are very repetitive and they get boring in the long run. And of course, for the fact that lots of different places look exactly the same. So there you have it, that's the story mode, and let's go to multiplayer or Crucible mode next. Now, this section of the game is actually called Crucible. Calling it multiplayer would be sort of confusing since the whole game is actually multiplayer. You see, there is no actual single player section in Destiny, not even in the story mode. But Crucible is the competitive player versus player mode, so it's kind of like the multiplayer mode us console gamers are the most familiar with. So there are 4 different game modes in Crucible that are available at all times. First one is Clash, which is basically team deathmatch, and the second one is Control, which is the same as Domination if you have played Call of Duty games. So you have 3 flag points in the map to capture and hold from enemy team, and you get points when you hold flags, and when you get certain amount of points you will win, and which is my personal favorite game mode out of the 4. And the third game mode would be Rumble, which is basically free for all, and fourth game mode is Skirmish, which is 3 versus 3 team deathmatch. Usually game modes are 6 versus 6, but Skirmish is 3 versus 3. And in this game mode you have a chance of reviving your teammates, unlike in the normal team deathmatch, for points after they get killed. And the 5th game mode will vary. So like I said, there are 4 different game modes in Crucible that are available at all times, and the 5th mode will vary. It's a game mode that's only available for a limited amount of time at once. So, Crucible reminds me a lot of Halo. It has the same feel in it, and the game mechanics work the same way. And much like Halo, the game mode isn't about reaction speed as much as it is about accuracy and precision. However, even for a Call of Duty fanboy like me, the Crucible mode wasn't hard to grasp at all. It was sort of difficult at first, but it is casual enough for you to adapt in a couple of days. Some people might see this as a bad thing, but personally I don't see anything wrong with a game being a little casual. If the game would be extremely skill driven and complicated, it would be more and more difficult to enjoy it and come back to it if you would only get owned each and every single time you jump on a match. Thankfully that's not the case in Destiny's Crucible. Instead, the game welcomes new gamers with open arms, since the game modes aren't all about sole surviving. It leans more into solid teamwork, where all those who play the objective are awarded equal amounts of points. Also, after every match, the game awards players these so-called activity rewards that are random items like weapons, armor, engrams and such. And I don't exactly know how these activity rewards actually work, since sometimes it feels the game completely ignores the best player in the team and doesn't reward him anything, while awarding the worst player with 2 activity rewards. So I don't exactly know how that works. Maybe it's supposed to do that, I don't know, so the worst player would want to come back for more after getting killed 10 times in a row. And besides, the best player in the team would probably keep on playing anyways, with him being so much better than everyone else. I don't know, maybe that's the whole genius part of it. But anyways, there are those activity rewards that will kinda make you want to play the game even more. And at the moment there are 11 different Crucible maps that take place on 5 different planets, and I can only imagine that there will be more planets and maps to be released in DLCs, because that's how they make money with the games these days, I guess. So in these 11 maps there are large maps and smaller maps, so there's some cool variety in them. And I also approve the map designs. I think the designs are fair enough. However, my problem with this game mode is that there are only 5 game modes total in Crucible. There are four like standard game modes, and the 5th game mode is the limited one that will always vary in only 11 different maps. So 4 game modes, 5th if you count the limited one, in 11 different maps. And I say that is not enough. Perhaps it normally would be enough for a game like Destiny, since Destiny was supposed to rely on the story mode just as heavily as to the Crucible mode. However, since the story mode was, like I said, sort of a flop, they really should have made up for it by putting more work on the Crucible mode. And some people already play only the Crucible mode because they don't enjoy the story mode at all. And I can't imagine that 5 different game modes will keep them interested forever. I should also mention that there are two different game modes associated to the story mode that aren't exactly part of the story. There's patrol mode and strike missions, so there are in fact more content into this game than the story mode and Crucible mode. But the first mode that I mentioned, the patrol mode for example, is boring as fuck. I hate to say it, but it is. It's basically free roam in the areas that you're already familiar with after playing 10 missions in them. And you might also get some occasional tasks to do every now and then in patrol modes that are very, very uninteresting and tedious ways to spend your time. So patrol mode is not good. And strike missions are pretty fun actually. You basically have to slaughter masses of enemies in unique areas, thank God. And after you're done with that, you will be facing a huge, enormous enemy that you must shoot for 10 minutes to finally kill it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, they're actually quite fun boss battles to play, especially with your friends. However, once again, they are also just that. On every planet, the strike missions are similar. You have to slaughter everyone in your way and you're done. The strike missions are pretty cool to play through, but they don't really motivate you to play through them over and over again. Once you're done with a strike mission, you don't really feel like going back to it anymore. That's why these two game modes don't really add to the game that much, and the story mode and Crucible should be where it relies on. And since the story mode didn't live up to its potential, Crucible should have provided more content to us gamers. And since it doesn't do that, that's a big minus towards the game. So Crucible overall would be 6 out of 10. I tried to give it 7 out of 10, but since there's so little to offer, I just can't do that. 6 out of 10 is the best I can give Crucible. Plus, for it being simple and fun, and it kind of makes you want to return to the game mode over and over again, and the game mechanics work really, really well. I never had any problems with Crucible mode. However, the big minus would be that there are only 5 game modes in 11 different maps. I mean, there might be more game modes and maps released with future DLCs, but that's bullshit. I mean, I don't approve that, that's bullshit. So, now that I have rated both story mode and Crucible, it's time for Destiny overall score. And that would be 6 out of 10. Now Destiny, it has lots of enjoyable content in it and it's fun to play, but it did not live up to its hype. I admit that Destiny did not live up to its hype. I'm not saying Destiny is a bad game at all. I really like Destiny and I was devastated that I couldn't play it last night for some stupid PSN error, so I really like this game. It's just that I can't imagine myself still playing this game like let's say 1 year from now. I'm quite sure that I will get bored of the game eventually, since it doesn't really have that much to offer. And that was it for my review. Destiny overall score 6 out of 10. I never done these reviews before and I don't know if I'm gonna make a habit out of it. It was a lot of work, more work than I usually put on in my videos, but it was fun to give it a shot. Tell me what you guys think of the game in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.